Hello, Canada, Canada, Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, 45 degrees in West Kelowna. This is hot. It is really, really, really hot. But geez, I like it. This is awesome. So, welcome to another Wednesday, another happy hour wine Wednesday with Carl's Wine Club, Carl Boucher, Mira Boucher on the other room here, just like near the window with a fresh breeze, couple good bottles behind her. She looks pretty summery here, Mira Boucher. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. Wow, that
Good.
is absolutely rock and rolling here in West Kelowna. Just get back from Penticton. There you go. People are starting to tune in. Amazing. Hot, great wine in my glass. Great thing to talk about because we have so many good topics that I want to share with you. So Instagram. Hope you guys are doing well. Mira, can you tell that I put my phone for Instagram right there if I do that? Yeah, yeah. Instagram, we appreciate you. Instagram, we are with you all evening as well. Carl's Wine Club member, Facebook, YouTube, all of you on all of our social media platform. We are here from across the country. I don't know what's the weather like outside of BC, but I think it's pretty hot across the board. But here it is something else.
Like our friend Daniel Bontarin, who runs Bottega Wine Studio and Seven Directions Rosés, right? He was at his new tasting room site in the shade, and he recorded 50 plus degrees because his little thermometer went to 50 degrees outside, and he was past the 50. Couldn't read anymore. It was too high. So in the shade.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Insane.
Pretty crazy.
So yeah, tell us if you're tuning in. Tell us what it's like where you are. What's that?
There's something. Just the sound just absolutely blew up here.
Okay, we can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's something like absolutely not okay on my side.
So, okay, we'll come to you.
Okay, yeah. So okay, if you guys are hearing me okay, that's fine. I'm gonna keep going because we have some great wine to talk about. We have some great wine to taste. A few things that I really want to talk to you about. It's when you talk from the other, it sounds like something absolute. Oh, you know that noise? Should we put that in the blooper reel? Okay, you guys can hear me just fine. It's just about like when Miracle talk on the other side, it's just like that canning noise, just absolutely crazy. Anyhow, Sue-Ann Staff that I want to talk about today. We have some great wine from Sue-Ann. Everyone knows my passion and my love for Chardonnay, so I saved the Alicia's Vineyard single vineyard Chardonnay for tonight's show. So I am pretty excited to share that with you because I didn't have the chance to try it yet. To be honest with you, we had a little problem. The first bottle that I got when I had the whole Sue-Ann selection was corked. But slightly corked, and I could detect in there some tremendous potential. So I was really excited. And Sue-Ann shipped me an extra bottle rush so we can get it for this week for the show. And I'm really excited because I have not tasted it yet. So, and last night I tasted at the beach in Caledon with our friend Rob Amersley from Black Market Wine Company, just right by Black Market's Winery. Beautiful beach down there. So we spent the evening there and tasting some wines, and we tasted from Sue-Ann the Pinot Grigio 2020 that I will talk about a little bit later on. But that was for a 40 degrees a 40-degree weather. If you're looking for a real, true summer sipper, oh, geez, Lord, it is the perfect wine. The zip, the crispiness, the acidity in that wine was just so perfect for what we've done at the beach. At 40, it was like 43 degrees at 4:30 when we got there. So can you imagine like how hot this was? Anyway, so that Pinot Grigio de Lenny from Sue-Ann, absolutely wonderful for a hot day. So this Delicia. We're going to talk about Bell Mountain, the Merlot. We're going to talk also about the Chestnut Tree, Cabernet Franc, the Old Vertical, but also the Roberts Block Riesling, who has been so far my favorite Riesling that I've tasted all years. And sorry, but Intersections a couple weeks ago was absolutely spectacular. Great price point. Oh, guess what? Here we're talking about another, but even deeper, richer, more concentration, more depth. Mostly it was the depth of that Robert Block Riesling, and my score reflected truly my 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 feelings and my impression of that, because at 94 points, I don't think I've ever rated a 94-point Riesling so far since the inception of Carl's Wine Club. So it's pretty, yeah, it's something else. And when Mira had the first sip, her reaction was like, "Oh my God, Carl, you're gonna lose your mind when you taste that." And just like it was like that, the depth to me is probably the biggest characteristic of the Roberts Block Riesling 2018 vintage. So we'll talk about the whole lineup in a few minutes. But yeah, we'll talk Sue-Ann. We'll talk Tinhorn Creek Merlot. Tinhorn Creek in general, because on Monday, I had the chance to drive all the way south to Oliver, the wine capital of Canada. And that, I'll tell you, it was hot here in West Kelowna because we hit 44 on Monday. It was 46 when I got to Osoyoos, and I got stuck on the road for 4.5 hours. For a drive, it was usually an hour and a half. From my house all the way to the Golden Mile, it's an hour and a half drive. It took me 4.5 hours. There was a forest fire right on the side of Highway 97, just between Peachland and Summerland, where everything was blocked, stuck there for 3 hours. Anyway, in air conditioning in my car for that long, when I opened the door, when I finally got to Oliver, oh my God, the feeling that I had opening up the door and like getting hit by that heat. It was like absolutely crazy, a feeling I have never experienced before. And to be honest, okay, I'm from Quebec City, but northern Quebec. But I experienced some of the Montreal wet, sticky, disgusting, humid weather in the summer, like the 33, 34 was like absolutely disgusting because it's so wet. I've never experienced a 44, 45 degrees in my life. And now it's been like five days over 40 degrees, and it is absolutely crazy. But I don't mind it. It's kind of fun. We spent almost all day in Penticton today at the beach with Mira's sister and our brother-in-law and the kids. And you know what? It's hot. It is really freaking hot. But holy cow, that it's awesome. So yes, Monday I went down to Oliver, and I stopped. I had a meeting with Jessica, the tasting room and the wine club manager at Tinhorn Creek. First and foremost, I want to tip my hat to the whole Tinhorn Creek team for hosting me. Jessica did an outstanding job, an absolutely beautiful job. And she was so knowledgeable. She knows her wine. She knows the library. She showed me around. We tasted the regular release, the current release, mini bag vintage. Some fun stuff was coming, like their new innovative series, Pet Nap Pinot Noir, Blanc was like Blanc de Noir was absolutely off the chart. But here is what I've tasted. She gave me a bottle of this. Okay. Here, Instagram. She gave me a bottle of this. The
But
two
tell us, yeah, what vintage? Because that's the crazy part. 2003.
Yeah. And Mira, you sound really, really good right now. So please keep going because we miss your beautiful voice.
Oh,
And
good. I'm
and
back.
and she's back. And I want Mira to tell you what she thought. What's her thought on the '03 Merlot from Tenor Creek. And after that, we'll tell you about the conversation that I had with my friend Rob Amersley, who is a wine guy because he's a winemaker. He owns a winery, so he knows what he's talking about. So, Mira, what was your thought on the 2003 Tenor Creek Merlot?
It was amazing. I mean, I've only ever had two really old, well, not even that old, but we had a 2006 Nota Bene a few months ago. And this one that was a 2003. I don't think I've had older than that for Canadian wine. Have we? I don't think I have. You might have, Carl, once or twice. But yeah, so that's pretty old, like 18 years for Canadian wine. That's pretty spectacular. And it was still fresh. It had an amazing nose. I could have sat there and sniffed that all evening, except every 15 minutes you have to stick it back into the cooler surrounded by ice because it was 47. But it was so refreshing, despite the fact it was so hot out. It was so like it just smelled amazing, like blackberries, like ripe blackberries, and the taste lingered for a long time. It was just so fantastic.
That
And
was
it was
great.
a screw cap. It was a screw cap. 18 years with a screw cap, and it still tasted absolutely amazing. Just such a burst of flavors, and it was so rounded, and it made so much sense. That's something I've heard you say before, Carl, and I get what you mean. Like sometimes a wine just makes sense. Like it's like, yeah, that's perfect. That's how it should be. Some wines kind of confuse you a little bit, like kind of go, oh, I'm not sure about that. Like, the acid there at the end is a little off or something. But this one was like, wow, it's like a masterpiece. Like it just
And
makes sense.
and yeah, I love what you just said, Mira. Your description is so great, and what you said, everything made sense because it's easy for a 2003 for one little part to go off at some point, and it was 47 freaking degrees outside. So like there is so many factors who could have made like this sip of wine goes like, yeah, it's okay. It's interesting. It's an '03, but okay. No, 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 no. Everyone sitting at that table, and we tasted and retasted it 3 times during the evening, and every time. And you mentioned that you pointed it out, the legs around, eh? Because we never go anywhere. We don't go anywhere without our Gabriel glasses, even at the beach. We carry our friend Rob was making fun at us last night. Like, I can't believe that you're showing up here with your freaking Gabriel glasses. But the legs, the crazy, beautiful, beautiful legs. It was yeah, everything. Like so many things could have went wrong with all that, and everything was absolutely glorious, perfect. And we had some matzo dog left at the end when I get the last sip, and with that juiciness, the fattiness of the cheese inside of the pork dog, it was just like absolutely amazing. So
Super
yeah.
impressed. Hey, Jeanette is here. Jeanette and Danny were actually in person at our house at our barbecue last Saturday, and it was so cool to meet you guys in person. It was unreal.
So that's another topic that I need to talk about today. So I better get into gear because we have to review the Sue-Ann's pack. I have to talk about Tenor Creek. I have to talk about Nota Bene, Black Hills Estate Nota Bene quickly. I really have to talk about it very quick.
Do you have it there? Do you have that baby there?
Yeah, but it's not tasted yet.
I know, but show us the bottle. Is it there?
What do you mean, is it there? Darn right it is. It's there. Darn right it's there.
Carl battled a wildfire yesterday for 4 hours on the way to pick up this bottle. He really wanted to pick up this bottle, and there was a wildfire that let him sit in traffic for 3 hours.
That's the new release, the 2019. It's right there. I'm going to taste that soon. In the next couple of days, sending my review. I am talking with Jesse right now to see when we can have something unique coming up with Carl's Wine Club for you guys. So this is pretty cool. I will be also July 17. That's coming up pretty cool, pretty soon. I'm gonna be a special guest for the Nota Bene 2019 release party. So we have the Blue Rodeo guy. I forgot his name. I should have. Anyway, the Blue Rodeo guy is going to do a set of 45-minute live on our interactive platform for that night, and I'm going to be dissecting and talking and analyzing the wine with Ross Wise, the winemaker, in front of the probably like 3,000 people tuning in across the country for that big 2019 release party. So it's going to be a pretty cool thing. So I have one bottle here. Keep in mind, 2018 Nota Bene was my wine of the year last year. So I cannot wait to give this one a shot because it's like every year. And now though already a few guys got sampled because they have an agreement with Peller Estate, the guys at Wine Alliance. So, and there's 4 writers there, and they all rated it 94, 95 points. So it's never happened in the history of Nota Bene that they has at the pre-release 5 out of 5 of the major writer gave it 94 or more. So the expectation is high, the excitement is high, so I can't wait to dig into that. I'm the first one outside of the Wine Alliance writers to get my bottle. So anyway, it's going to be fun to taste. Also, I want to talk about Black Market Wine Company because last night we finalized a pretty cool thing that's coming your way. Carl's Wine Club member is coming into your inbox on Friday morning, a 3-way Syrah flash feature, 3 bottles coming who are not available anymore. The Omerta Rosé, the Omerta Syrah Rosé, the Petnat Nothing to Declare Syrah Rosé, and the regular Syrah new vintage. So it's going to be the Petnat.
Crazy exciting offer because these are the sorts of things that are sold out. We knew they would sell out, and yet the winemaker was kind enough to set aside a few cases for the club. And that's when I feel like, wow, we've been around for a year tomorrow, Carl's Wine Club, and people are setting aside their very best wines so that we can all have access to them. I think it's pretty sweet.
It is absolutely off the chart. I cannot wait for that. So there's the controversy right now with Canada Day. Many people, some people will cancel Canada Day. And I don't want to get into a political controversy here. So, but we're not going to release anything tomorrow by respect of what everything happened. But Friday morning is coming your way. We thought Mira and I would have been our first anniversary Canada Day program, but it's not going to happen because of some controversy. But Friday morning on July 2nd in your inbox we'll have 36 3-packs available. So two of the three wines are completely sold out of the winery, and also they were made in such a small quantity, but it's coming. It's coming. So it's very exciting. Um, so yeah, a pack show right now. It's already 5:23. So let's talk about Sue-Ann Staff. Mira Boucher, you are the queen of research. You love doing that while I'm tasting one and I try to rack my brain around some different tastes. You sip on the wine and you read about our partners and the research you do. And it's so much fun to listen to you after because you register all of these information and you're so good at it. Can you give us a brief overview of the last 200 years in this from the Staff family?
Love it. Aw, thanks, Linda. She says it's hard to believe, and it's been a year. Yes, and many of you have been hanging out with us for a year online like this, and we're finally starting to meet people in person. So if you're coming to visit the Okanagan, you got to tell us, because we ended up moving here through this heck of a year it's been. Derek says a travesty of history more than controversy. I don't know if that's about Sue-Ann Staff.
No, not about Sue-Ann. It's about I said about what's
no, so other things.
yeah.
That's horrendous. I agree with you, Derek. It's everyone's trying to figure out the right way to express our sorrow and how we can move forward with this. So yeah, out of respect, let's
move on.
Tomorrow alone. And we'll find ways that we can continue to be respectful and find ways to reconcile, right? But yeah, so Sue-Ann Staff, 200-year-old family estate, and I gotta show this first, okay? It's pretty fun. That is Sue-Ann Staff. She is I don't know what you call that, Carl, but she is like kicking a barrel. I guess this is what they do in wine country in Niagara after they buried their vines for the winter, because many wineries bury their vines so they can survive the -35s and the -40s.
It's mostly in the Prince Edward County, the Peck, Appalachian, Northern, not necessarily Niagara. But,
yeah, so they're on the Niagara escarpment. So they have the lucky. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, but this is the fun thing, is that they winemakers get together and cellar hands and all kinds of people, and I guess they try and kick these barrels and see how long they spin for. So yeah, I guess the winter in the Okanagan is not cold and long enough for them to have discovered that pastime yet, unless there's something I don't know about. But apparently Sue-Ann Staff, our featured winemaker this week, is quite the barrel spinner. She is quite infamous for the barrel spinning, but she was even more famous for her wines and her winery, which is on a 200-year-old family estate. It's been they've got the longest commercial vineyard in Canada that's still productive. They grow Concords on it, and they don't make wine or anything with it. They're table grapes, but still they've been making. Sue-Ann is kicking ass. Yeah, Derek. And Daryl's saying near Westcott. That's good to know. Okay, yeah. And so she's been on this family estate for 200 years. She's the 5th generation of grape growers, and she decided to make it into a winery, and she's now won over 500 awards now, internationally and nationally, as a winemaker. So really phenomenal wines, phenomenal passion. At some point we'll have to read what she writes on one of her bottles, that Farm Girl one. Do I have it here? We'll read it right now. I love this. She says, years back while tending my family farm, I had a revelation. I love the farm life. This is my Paris, my Australia, my South Africa, my freedom. And so I love that. Like, that's why she calls it Fancy Farm Girl. She kind of discovered her passion while growing up on the farm and continued to pursue it. So yeah, fantastic. Every wine bottle is so cute. They have these little stickers on them. It says Brix approved. And Brix is the winery dog. So if you go there, they have this massive Bernard. Here's a picture of Bricks, Sue-Ann's dog. So I cannot wait for our virtual tasting with Sue-Ann in about a month. After people get their wines and have a chance to try them out, we'll do a virtual tasting with Sue-Ann. I can't wait to meet her. She's got the craziest stories. So what was the name of that guy, Carl, that came through?
Michael Gorbachev. So Michael Gorbachev was the first Russian president after the switch over from communism to so Gorbachev was right there at the transition. So yeah.
I grew up in Romania. I know about Gorbachev, but I mean, like, she's had all kinds of sort of infamous.
So Jesse James, the story of Jesse James.
Yes, but we don't know that story. We just know that it exists. And the Chestnut Tree Vertical Pack, the vineyard there, the Chestnut Tree Vineyard, it's the Chestnut Tree Vineyard is where Jesse James like stop by, and there's some kind of story about it. So we have our vertical pack. I was just trying to find it here. There it is. The 16, 17, 18 Cab Franc vertical from that vineyard that Jesse James like tried to escape through or something.
Yeah, that's a legend, but it's just pretty cool stories because we know that Jesse James escaped, and when he went to New York, he was hiding in New York States, and at some point when he was hiding in New York State, the state of New York, he heard that they found him and they were coming, so he came to Canada, and well, the proximity, like it's so close from where he was. So anyway, so apparently he made his way through the Chestnut Tree Vineyard, and he hung out around there for a while. So that, these, even if it's just an urban legend, who the heck care? Because these stories are super cool. They stuck with the vineyard. Now Sue-Ann is the 5th generation passing along for me, what's resonate and all that, it's the knowledge that she acquired about the land, about the soil, about the history of what the soil can produce in this specific region, from great grandpa to your grandpa to her dad to her, like all passing all along that understanding of what grows great, what's grow great around there, and how to make that Riesling, the Roberts block, so with such a reflection of terroir, with such a density, and to me, that's what resonates to me when I read 5th generation. You don't see that from Canada, right? We are a brand new wine country. We hear that from France. We hear that from Italy. We hear that from these the old world country that, okay, 3rd, 4th, 5th generation of winemaker. Like, you know what? From Canada, this is pretty darn cool. And she's like you mentioned, she's an absolute firecracker. Like, I'm known for an energy guy. Like, I'm super energetic. I love upbeat stuff. I like to go. I'm a go-getter. Sue-Ann, she's like at the next level. You talk to her, even like exchanging emails with her, it's something like upbeat and super fun. So yeah, I'm excited. We already had a few conversations, a few Zoom with her, but like it's coming. Her wines are fantastic. Her wines are so good. And I want to mention to everyone, because now we are into a heat wave, some people are concerned. But if it's if you guys are scared about the quality, how the wine will show up at your door, if we want to preserve the integrity of the product and you don't really trust the process, it's fine. It's absolutely understandable. What we are facing right now, we never faced that before, that type of heat early, like it's crazy. So you can, if you want, schedule your shipment. Let us know. There is a special column in the order sheet. Let us know. Hey, please delay my shipment by 2 weeks. Please, I would like to get my wine between these and this date, because if you go on vacation, you won't be home. Just make sure you just leave us a note, and we will call Sue-Ann. will make sure that your wine is aside and you get your wine when you feel that it's safe to get it. So, what do you think, Mira? I was just thinking of that just before the show when I was getting ready because I think that I can hear it. Like it's a concern for some people, right?
Totally. I mean, I think most wineries, they'll ship something that's refrigerated, and the concern is, well, what if, the truck driver decides to take a break for an hour and the air conditioning goes off? Like, things can happen as much as they're supposed to be refrigerated and climate controlled and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's just a little field there that says special instructions. Just say, hey, I'm gone from this date to this date. Make sure it gets there before that or after that or whatever. Or, I don't need these right away. Why don't you wait till it cools down for a week or two? That's cool too. Usually the wineries won't ship it and will let you know if they're concerned. And
Yeah,
they've seen all
exactly.
sorts of heat waves, so they're usually they have good judgment, and they ultimately would have to replace it if it goes terribly awry. So usually I trust that. But if you're concerned and you don't want to have to deal with anything, and you just leave a note in there, and we can follow whatever instructions you leave. So
Yeah,
um,
because if you guys like just like I was just thinking because on top of it, it's such a good deal. Usually, I would say to be honest, outside of Bellaterra, Pondview, the shipping cost for a winery in Ontario to Western Canada is usually fairly high. And Sue-Ann went for $15 shipping cost for all the way to BC, Victoria, Alberta, Saskatchewan, across the board. $15 shipping, and I think it is a screaming deal to get into that. And I want Western Canada people to taste these wines because there's no Pinot Grigio. And literally, she calls it Grigio for a very specific reason because she went after the Italian style of Pinot Gris, crisp, but she's making it crisper than crisp. She went after the citrus, but she made it more citrusy than citrus. Like it is like pretty freaking cool. The mouth watering of that Pinot Grigio, $20 Pinot Grigio. But my whole point is, with the whole pack, the $15 shipping across and free for Ontario, for me, it's just such a great opportunity for our Western Canadian friend because we have a very big representation in BC and Alberta. And there's buying strong on BC wine. But if you ever thought, this is one day I would like to get into I would like to taste some Ontario wine, and I'm not sure which vineyard I'm going to give it a try. Go ahead. The Sue-Ann's pack is so much fun, and the $15 to go across the country is a screaming deal because it costs probably from Niagara-on-the-Lake to ship a package to Victoria. A six-pack of wine, I would say it's at least $45, 45 to $50. Would you agree, Mira?
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
gets really pricey, especially in the summer when you have to do the temperature control thing, and yeah, so it's a good deal for sure. They give us a bit of a break because we're shipping it all as a club together. I love that.
Alicia's Chardonnay. I love that chard. I like that citrusy again.
Mm,
There's a very good mix between the stainless steel and also the oak. There's oak in there, but it's not over oaky. It's very, very zippy as a Chardonnay to me. It's a great summer Chardonnay. Just as an example, last night we got because we had a little bit of a Tenor Creek experience last night. This is at the extreme of oakiness, extreme manageable because it's an amazing chard, but not necessarily the summer Chardonnay. This is bigger. This is oaky. This is California style. With what I got here with Sue-Ann, the Alicia's Vineyard, I would say, to be honest with you, yeah, it's a little bit more Chablis style. It's crisp. It's citrusy. It's acidic. Not acidic in the wrong way. There's a little bit of salinity. There's a nice, Mira, lick your lip a little
boy.
bit.
Yeah, it's a little salty, a little
A
minerally.
little
Yeah.
saltiness, right? So this Chard to me, it's a beautiful representation of what the Chard does in on the escarpment without the overusing of oak. So purity of the fruit, great length, nice flower. I get some chamomile in there as well. So I really enjoyed that. This is a 91 point to me because of the freshness. It's a 2018 vintage, so it's not a new release, not a new baby. It's just starting to open up with like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a, well, yesterday I would say like you know the piece of salmon on the grill is just so perfect. Also, like it can be a scallop, it can be even with white meat, with chicken teriyaki. This is gonna cut through that. Absolutely wonderful. So I like it with that. What's your opinion out there? Hey, what's your opinion on the shark?
Sorry, it takes me a second to unmute myself so you don't hear my kids in the background.
Oh,
So I really like it. Like what the first sip I had, we just came back from the beach. It's been a hot day. And this is so refreshing. This is exactly what I wanted to drink after a hot day at the beach. So yeah, I
yeah.
love it. Like you said, there's the like the minerality in there, the citrus, and it's refreshing. So yeah, really
Yeah.
enjoyable.
It's not super expressive on the nose. There's not something like I remember last night when I popped that 14, that 14, it was just like, oh my God, there was so much stone fruit coming out. That was almost like a banana bread coming out of that 14, that Turn Creek. This is shy, a little bit more shy on the nose. It was really, really cold when I popped it as well. It started to warm up a tad, but it's more, like I said, on the minerality. There's a nice flinty nose as well.
So I get a little bit on the nose, but my nose is stuffed because of the air conditioning. I don't know if anyone else gets that, but air conditioning's been stuffing my nose for 3 days now. I can't smell much.
Hey, our friend Amon just tuned in on Instagram here. Amon,
Woohoo! Hey,
hey
Aman.
man, congratulations on your wedding, okay? So we're like, hope everything, because it was this week, was it?
I thought so,
I
yeah.
think so. I think so. So I hope everything went well and was not too hot in Calgary. So Aman, so I say hi to you. Can't wait for you and Lindsay to get your butt up here so we can go touring together. Okay. We miss you, my man.
Wonderful.
We miss you a lot. So, okay. So yeah, the 91 point Chardonnay. I love that. Pinot Grigio, 90 point on the Grigio that I gave it at the beach yesterday. The Grigio is like under $20. The Chardonnay, if I'm not mistaken, Mira, I think we are at the $24, I believe.
It's 22 including tax.
22 including tax. And that Grigio is at 19 including tax. So now we're talking before tax, it's a $16 bottle. It is a heck of a price. Okay, if you're thinking about like Italian Pinot Grigio because it's a good deal, forget about that. This is world-class Canadian wine with such a beautiful mouthfeel. And guess what? You support Canadian wineries. You support Canadian workers across the board, from the vineyard people to the tasting room people to across the board at the vineyard. So it should be a no-brainer because this, the Lenny's, kicks every Pinot Grigio's ass from Italy that I've tasted across the board. I think that Italian Pinot Grigio are lean, not so much to. This is absolutely worth it. Okay, so there you go. I'm just reading. Aman is texting here. He said, "This shard has my name all over it. I can't wait for a tour with you." So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
Anyhow,
great.
so the Grigio, the shard. Now we have to take at least 1 minute to talk about the shard and the Riesling, and I want to let you Start with the finish with the because I already talked about it. 94 points to my opinion, and you were the first to your eyes absolutely lit up when you tasted it the first time.
Yes, so I'm proud of myself as someone who started tasting different Canadian wines a year ago, because we started the club a year ago tomorrow. Uh, the I finally started to really understand, like, different varietals and what they are, and I can tell when it's something I like. I can tell when something's really well made, but it's not what I like. I can tell when it's maybe a more aged wine. So I'm proud of myself, guys. That this, I've been married to a wine guy all these years, and I never knew anything about wines. So we have tasted enough wines this last year that I think I've learned a few things. And when I tasted this Riesling, we tasted a lot of Rieslings. This one was just one that stuck out. It was just like, wow, this is something special. It
Yeah.
was so flavorful, but so, like what I was saying before about the Tin Horn Creek 2003, things really just made sense. Like, it's like looking at a beautiful painting where it makes sense, right? Sometimes you look at a painting where it's a little like you don't understand what's going on. It's still really cool, maybe, but you're not totally sure what they're trying to say. But with this, it's like, it's like beautiful art, like that just about anybody can look at it and say, "Ooh, that's beautiful," right? So it was
Yes.
a lot of fun.
You
We've all
know,
learned a few things thanks to Carl.
you
And
know,
Gail's not a fan of Riesling. She wants to try. So, Carl, you were never really a fan of Riesling, or it wasn't
I'm
something
getting
on
it
your.
more and more into it. More and more, I'm just starting to appreciate it. I had that like I maybe 10, 15, not more than that, 15 years ago. I had a little phase where I wanted to discover more and more about Alsace but about Canadian Riesling, no. And first, Pondview, Bellaterra, and 13th Street made some quiet, like they were good Rieslings. And I kind of get excited, and I wanted to know more. And lately, literally, the Intersection made an absolute world-class Riesling. Where about because we tasted with Clay Martin, we tasted the 2016 at his house, and we got the 2017 into our pack, and both were great. I really enjoyed it. And when we got to this one, it was even if I gave a 92 points, I remember to give 92 to Intersection, and I get to this, I was like, whoa, it's even like again, I have to come back with the same terminology. It's the depth. It's so deep into the flavor profile. There was so much to dig into. The ginger just brought so much freshness. Tad of petroleum. I enjoy it a little bit over too much. It's not pleasant. I don't want to feel like if I'm sitting into a gas station, it's not too much of my bag of tea, but just a little bit to make me think, to tell me, don't worry, it is a Riesling. This is definitely a Riesling. There's that smell, but also to me, the richness and the depth was just off the chart. So yeah, 94 points. Moving into the red quickly, I want quickly talk about the Baco Noir, because just like I mentioned into the taste into my review and tasting notes, I'm not usually a fan of Baco. I don't say that I dislike Baco Noir. It's just not something that I would go shop for. It's not something that I will go look for. If it's there, I'm more than happy to get to it, and I try to a little bit to know more about it. But this one absolutely blew my socks off. I usually think that Baco is a little heavy, lack of acidity, not grippy, and like it's just like it's raw and being dark. And anyway, this one has a beautiful brightness. It's deep. It's also dark. It's also a little bit smoky. There is so many great features, and absolutely got me to the barbecue. This wine will be this summer one of my go-to barbecue wine. Fresh, bright, because it's a brand new release. not super grippy, and I don't care because I don't want that with the pork fillet. I don't want that with like even with some grilled meat, red meat, it will go well because of that little bit of smokiness, but everything poor anyway. So I really, really, really enjoy that. Mira, I can see here your smile. You're kind of chuckling up there. So what's going on?
Uh, I'm agreeing with you, it's just fun to listen
Fun?
to you
Yeah.
because it's
I
true.
thought that you were going through the comments and you were having fun seeing what other people were commenting.
Well, yes, some people are fun. So Mike's saying, not my bag of tea. I'll have to remember to use that one. And you know, yeah, it's just kind of fun to see other people get to know you, know us. And actually, Mike, I think you're coming to visit in a couple very
Couple
soon,
weeks,
actually.
couple weeks. I
Yeah,
think it's going
I
to
have
be
it
there.
written down.
Yeah, he's going to be
Couple
here
weeks,
like in
yeah.
10 days or so. I think not this weekend, but the following one. I'm looking forward to our tour, Mike Laplante. It's going to be epic, epic, epic. I was talking about you to Rob Amersley at Black Market last night, and he said, make sure you take him over because he wants you to go and taste some stuff with us. So, yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be great.
Super
So,
fun.
this is a little bit of my overview of Sue-Ann. There's also a wonderful single vineyard Merlot and also all of the chestnut tree. Uh, the Mountain Bell is a great price point as well for a top premium Merlot. This one, I'm thinking to personally, it can be a star of the vintage in terms of Merlot in Niagara. There is a something special cooking in that bottle. I really, really think a little bit tight in there right now, but I think there's something cooking in there that can be really, really special. The three bottles of the chestnut tree, 16, 17, and 18. All three wines. The 16 is a library release, not available anywhere. The 18, forget about that. It's still sitting at the winery, and they are not planning to release it for another 6 to 8 months. So, as a Carl's Wine Club member, you get a shot at that wine to lay it down in your cellar before anyone else in the country. So, super cool. Mix and match, do whatever you want with all of these bottles into your order. That's what we do. That's what we want to offer you because for us, giving you the choice of what you like, what you want to try, it's a priority. So yeah, we're excited about Sue-Ann. So it is what it is. Any comments on Sue-Ann, Mira? It's something, or we can move forward. I would like to do a quick recap of our rosé party.
Oh yeah. So all I want to say.
I think she's talking with one of the kids, and let's.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there you go.
So all I was saying about Sue-Ann is I just think amazing winemaker, and it comes through in the wine, and
Yeah.
really something special to try out what they were able to pull off in Niagara, and great wine. So
Yeah. So I'm excited because she was talking with Marcel Morgenstern from Bellaterra this week. They had a chat about us, and they want us to go there and do a special Niagara wine with Carl's Wine Club. So they're starting to push the button pretty hard. And I don't know if anyone knows, but we did a blending session with Bellaterra, and we have a wine in barrel right now who will be bottled in a few weeks, especially for Carl's Wine Club. So the Carl's Wine Club cuvee is going from the barrel to bottles because we're designing our labels next week with Bellaterra. So that's something pretty cool as well. I don't know if I mentioned it before. So anyhow, just rambling here. Time is flying by. I want to recap our rosé night. So the rosé marathon. Mira, Nothing. Do you want to start? Do you want to start about what happened last Friday, or do you want me to go and start?
Well, last Friday, Carl did. I think we need to start calling it what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a world record. Like, I think we need to call, Guinness or someplace, because I don't think anyone has ever gone live on social media and tasted wines for 5 hours. Last month it was tasting Chardonnays for 4 hours and 15 minutes or so. This month you were on for like 5 hours and 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the only person in history that's done that. So good for you. We were representing Canada on International Rosé Day, and boy, do we have some great rosés. How many did you taste? Like 20 plus live, and then the
26.
next day, 26.
26.
Awesome. So yeah,
26.
and then the next day, looks like Carl had a bit of an accident. Oh, with the wines, I don't know.
No. I almost. I just want to go get the list of the rosé.
Ah, okay, yeah. And if you know where the balsamic vinegar that I want to give away is.
Yeah, it's right beside me.
Right beside you. There we go. We're gonna give away some
Okay.
balsamic vinegar.
That's what I was looking for.
Look at that. So that's the list of all of the there he is. All of the rosés we tasted. Yeah, it was pretty fun and pretty exciting to see the variety, the styles. I have to say, like, I think what varietals of rosé did we like the most, Carl? I know what stuck out is the Merlot based rosés kind of rated lower for us. And when we had the after party, so this is going to become a bit of a thing. If you're ever in the Okanagan, make sure you check if we're doing an after party for anything, because we have all these wines open and there's like this much out of them, right? So it's really fun to get together with members in person and taste them all and see what other people's reactions are. And pretty much everyone who tasted those rosés the next day said the same thing, that the Merlot base were kind of the most lower rated. And I think the Cab Franc and the Pinot base were the higher ratings, right?
Yeah, and also there was some of the Malbec as well were highly rated. And I was so impressed with the great. There was not only BC wine, there was some Ontario wine who ran all the way at the top. Yeah, Linda's with us. Yes, absolutely. So let me first a quick overview. Just like Mira said, 5 hours. I wanted to go at least 5 hours because we did 4 hours, 15 minutes with the Chardonnay marathon. So I hit 5 hours. I made a big mistake. I didn't eat before the marathon. And at the end, I was hungry. So it kind of cut me a little off guard, and I felt I was a little slow at the end because I was really hungry. But
But you kept at it. Like, you were such a trooper. You were like, no, I need to taste this last one because I really was excited about this one.
You know what? It reminds me, Gabriel, our middle guy. Sometimes he doesn't want to go to bed. He's no, I want to stay up a little later. And
we're so lucky that you don't actually swallow the wine. So it's not because of being drunk or anything. You don't swallow any of it. You spit it all. Your spit bucket's got like this much wine in it. It's just because talking about wine for 5 and something hours. Yeah, anyone would start to lose their voice. But what did we come up with? The idea in the chat people had was to have chefs set up pairings, and as we're chatting, someone can
bring some local chefs. Bring some local chef, and also maybe next time to do it offsite, not here at the house, but let's say at a hotel where we can do that in the garden or somewhere with a view, and somewhere where we can have some people come live, and because we had 4 amazing guests who came in. We had we had that night Marcel Morgenstern, a friend of the show. Marcel came talk about Bellaterra, the new rebranding, the rosé philosophy. We had also Rob Amersley, winemaker and owner of Black Market, who did 2 spots. He called us from Skaha Vineyard to show us
The view.
the view at Skaha. And after that, went back to Black Market and we talk about Pet Nat, Syrah Rosé, the Nothing to Declare. So that was great. We had also Mark Simpson, who talk about his strategy, his philosophy about rosés. So yeah, it was awesome. It was great, great chat. For me, what was the most interesting part is when we talk about rosé, we're not talking about one grape varietal. That's the biggest difference in that. There's so much diversity in what we've done last week because let's put it that way. You all know my passion for Chardonnays. It was so much fun, the Chardonnay Marathon. But you taste Chardonnay, different style of Chardonnay across the board. Now, when we talk about rosé, you taste different style of rosé, different techniques of rosé, but also different grape varietal. So that had all of that diversity. I think I didn't make the exact count, but I can assure that we tasted at least 40 different type of grapes like on for last week. So that make it even more interesting, even more different. So it was pretty darn cool to all of that side by side. There was probably like 10 from Ontario and 16 from 16 from BC. And wow, that was fun. So let's recap here, okay? I had this, anything. Oh, sorry. Well, there's a little war here between the kids coming like in between the doors. I'm not sure who's winning, who's not winning, but anyhow. Uh, so I had, let's put it that way, my top tier of wine. Okay, I had some honorable mention across the board for the Nothing to Declare Syrah from Rob at Black Market. This Pétillant Naturel, the Pet Nat, is absolutely spectacular. It is something to try. Outside of, hey, this is my boys. How are you doing, guys? Hey, how's it going?
They're just having some appetizers. What is the appetizer tonight, Gabby? Donut. Donut.
Donut. There you go. What a classic. So, yeah, the Pétillant Naturel Syrah was like very like something with nothing add. No yeast. Everything is natural in there. So it was really cool to taste that. It's one of my honorable mention. Fort Barons from Lillooet. So you guys probably heard about Lytton, BC. The little city in the middle of nowhere in BC where it's beating all of the Canadian heat record right now. It's called Lytton. So Lytton is in the region of Lillooet. So in this area, there's a small winery on your way to Whistler. It's called Fort Barons. And their rosé was, to me, really good. I've rarely seen a Merlot Capra rosé with such a grapefruit aromas and flavor. It was really, I felt like blind. I was tasting Sauvignon Blanc. It was so different. So it was awesome. So it was one of my honorable mention. Also, my honorable mention, I had Desert Hills. Desert Hills rosé was, to me, so quaffable. There was nothing extravagant. It's not a grand extravaganza of different flavor, different this, different that. No, it was just so very good and easy going. It was just well made. I'm not a big fan of these big pink, like darker color. And I was looking, that's what I got as a color. So I was like, okay, probably not my son. And when I tasted it, it was, and by the way, all of the 26 bottles open, that Desert Hills was the first one to be done at the after party. So people were asking more and more about that one just because it's a good rosé party rosé, quaffable, not too complex. We'll talk about Carlo Estate. the reserve patio wine, where it's at complete opposite, unique, complex, was like it really, really attracted the attention. But as per Desert Hill, it's just because it was just good and easy going, but very, very well made. So that's my three honorable mention. Fort Barons from Lillooet. It was a Merlot Cap Franc. The Gam, what is that?
Well, the kids brought me popcorn because they were watching a movie. And I just realized Chardonnay goes well with popcorn sometimes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So easy. A pairing.
Everything was meant to be. So forbearance, Black Market Wine Company as for the Nothing to Declare Pétillant Naturel Pet Nat Syrah, 100% Syrah, and Desert Hills was my three honorable mention. From 2 to 5, okay, position number 2 to 5. There's not a specific order. These four wines to me could have all been number 2, could have all been number 5. The order is completely, can be completely different for everyone, but to me were the next 4 best wine after the number 1. And these 4 wines are Courcelette, Pinot Syrah. It was beautiful, zippy acidity, like lemony, good twist. I like Courcelette 2020 Oracle. I am a big fan. So it's this one. It was the other one of the 4 was Carlo Estate Winery out of Prince Edward County in Ontario. A blend of what I was thinking was Frontenac Gris, and I talk almost all night about the Frontenac Gris. And I had Sherry Carlo contacted me after the trip. She said, "Carl, it's not the Frontenac Gris. The Frontenac Gris is the other rosé. The Reserve Patio is a blend of Pinot Noir, I think Pinot Noir, Cabernet Franc, and also Gewürztraminer." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So, but anyhow, super beautiful minerality, acidity, and salinity. I've rarely had that aspect of a rosé. This one was cutthroat acidity, outstanding, really unique on his own style. If when we talk about blue ocean and red ocean, this one was absolutely the red ocean. He was unique because on his style, it was on his own. And it was really good. Attracted a lot of attention at the after party. A lot. Everyone wanted to taste it. Everyone was surprised because it was very different than any others. And the other 4, the last one of the 4, and it was a big, big surprise. It was Red Rooster Rosé. The 2020 Red Rooster, 100% Malbec. To me, it was another one, just like the Desert Hill. Nothing extremely special, just absolutely beautiful, easygoing, pleasant to drink. The nose is to die for. The flavor profile was stone fruit, nice pale salmon color, everything. It was just like an overall, just well made, and the price is absolutely beautiful. So anyway, these are the 4 2nd to 5th place that I taught. And to finish, the number 1, the top rosé of our rosé marathon, Daniel Bonterin, 7 Direction, Pinot Noir, Tractor and Vines rosé. The fruits are from a single estate vineyard in Summerland, BC. It's called the Tractor and Vines Vineyard. I tasted that wine in barrel in April. When Daniel poured out of the tank at Volcanic Hills, because that's where the tank was sitting in April, I looked at him and I said, "Whoa, this is special." He said, "Carl, I don't think that I ever made a wine that good." And you know what? Tasting it now, almost in July, so in June, I can tell you, I've been a fan of Daniel Bonterin. I think he's the master of rosé in Canada. This is his best to date. I give it a 94 points. It was, to me, undisputable, the best wine of the night out of the 26 rosés. The color is perfect. the clean, crisp bottle, the color, the nose is just. I was joking at the after party. It's more than sensual. It was something almost erotic. Yeah, I'm telling you. It was. It was. To be honest, it was absolutely beyond everything else below. So yeah, Daniel Bonterin, Seven Direction, Tractor and Vines, 94 points. And I think Mira, which one stood out to you?
Definitely that one you just mentioned, the Daniels one. I love the Corselettes one. And I think Desert Hills. Yeah. It's funny because for Chardonnay Day when we did the
Oh,
after party,
sorry, I missed also between the three, the second and fifth, Bella Terra Sparkling Rosé was part of it too.
I really like that one.
Yeah,
Yes, the
Bella Terra
sparkling
Sparkling
drink.
Rosé was also one of the four who absolutely stood out among pretty much everybody at the after party as well.
That's great. Well, it's just funny with COVID, the last time we did this was Chardonnay Day a month ago, and things were still restricted. So we could only gather, I think, with one or two families outside. And so it was a much smaller gathering. And we actually took pieces of paper and we actually wrote notes and we actually talked about each one like in detail. And it was really fun and interesting. This for Rosé Day, we had what, 20 or 30 people in our backyard.
Yeah.
So it was a little more like, let's just taste lots of wines. What is this one? I don't know. I don't know which one this is. This one's good. What was it? Right?
Oh, you know, and I want to give a shout out to Danny and Danny and Jeanette, who were a member from day one, who went all the way from the mainland in Surrey to come to our house and do our after party. Sam Hawk, who's known on social media as Sam the wine teacher, who is a great wine critic in BC, who we never met in person. Sam came to the house, introduced and taste wine together. We had our friend now, who we never met before April, but became a good friend, him and Joanna Clay Martin at the BC Wine Review, spent almost the whole night with us. You know, like we had people from different sphere. So like it was pretty cool. So what a great night. We tasted a lot of good wines. And yeah, that was our rosé marathon. It was a lot of fun.
So for the next one, we were looking at, well, what's coming up, right? And Syrah is going to be exciting because I really think Syrah has something special in Canada here, especially on the West Coast for growing Syrah. But I think that's in February, right? So
Yeah.
what's coming up the next couple months? I think there's Pinot Noir in August. Uh, and some fun things coming up in the fall. But I was like, well, why don't we just do like a Canadian wine day where we taste Canadian wines blind with international wines of the same kind of class, you know, and see if we can tell the difference, see, you know, where we stand, right? So I thought that might be fun too, maybe in the next couple months. So
we want your suggestion. We want the members' suggestion. What is the next wine marathon that we should do? So I would like to know what you guys have to say. So while you guys tell us what you would like to see us coming with our new concept of a new marathon. I want to talk a little bit about the Naramata Bench because we are going into next week offer. Sue-Ann's offering on Thursday night. So Canada Day at 10 o'clock. That's going to be the end of the Sue-Ann offer. Moving on next week into D'Angelo Estate Winery. So Sal D'Angelo started 30 years ago in Ontario. And after maybe 5 to 10 years in the wine industry in Ontario, decided to move all the way to BC and found a small little plot of land on the bench, on the Naramata Bench, a very special, unique place. And Sal is making Italian style wine on the bench. And next week we have, I'm excited to feature the Rosé Rosalina, the first ever release of their Gewürztraminer, Also, their Sette Copa, not the Sette Copa, but yeah, but the Vino di Casa was, I gave it 92 points in November last year when I rated it for the first time. An outstanding $23 table wine, really Italian style, a non-vintage. There's 3 different vintages in that blend. Super cool. I really like that. We're gonna have 2 vintages of Sette Copa. Sette Copa is the Meritage, the Bordeaux blend made by Sal for now, like I don't know how many years, but we have the 2017, but also he went to dug into his cellar and he pulled out some 2014 for us. Don't look around. Don't try to find any 2014 of the Sette Copa. It doesn't exist. In 2018, it won gold medal at the All Canadian Wine Championship, and it got sold out. But he had some, obviously, reserve in the cellar for special occasion. And when I approach him, say, Carl, how about I pull 6 cases out of our reserve of the 2014? So this is extremely exciting. The 17 Copa has been super highly rated across the country. I gave it a 93 points personally because it's a big, if I can't say that, a big motherfucking, no, I can't say that, right? But really, really big wine. It's a monster of a wine. So if you want a piece of meat on the barbecue, this is the way to go. Anyhow, and we have a late harvest Viognier. Beautiful, crisp and sweet, acidic, like lime, zesty, lemony for dessert. So this is our 6-pack coming up next week. It's pretty exciting.
Sounds like you can do a whole meal with that pack.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So this is super exciting coming up next week. And like I mentioned, in 2 days, stay close to your computer because you're gonna have the flash offer from Black Market. 3 bottles, Syrah 3 ways, sparkling rosé natural, pétillant naturel, the pet nap, the already raw produced 150 bottles of that. So do the math in terms of cases, 250 bottles. So in terms of cases, it's pretty much nothing. And he has 3 cases just for us, for Carl Wine Club, that he set aside. Omerta Rosé Syrah sold out in like something like in 3 days. They have nothing in the tasting room. There's only 3 cases left, and it's for Carl's Wine Club coming this week. And their new vintage of Syrah. So we're going to do that special offer. Black Market Wine Company, Syrah. So it's going to be fun and cool. Yeah.
We've got some exciting little flash ones here coming up throughout the summer. So yeah, if you're into Syrah, this is the best one for Syrah. We've got something very special. I won't spill the whole beans, but very special for Chardonnay lovers coming up in.
Should we just not say that Pearl Morissette is giving us a vertical of Chardonnay in a couple of weeks? So this is like.
So far in 2021, probably the best wine we've tasted so far is the Pearl Morissette 2017 19e, right?
One of the years.
We talk about it at least once a week still, Carl, right?
Oh yeah, at least. I would say at least 3 times a week.
It just comes up like we're eating something and we're like, oh my gosh, I just got a whiff of that Pearl Morissette in my, memory, or even just tasting this Chardonnay, I'm comparing it to that like constantly, and that's the bar. And when we did Chardonnay Day, everyone in that small group that tasted at the after party, everyone had it rated 95 points and higher. Some people said it's a 99-point wine. It's the best wine I've ever tasted. It was outrageous. So we're going to do a vertical the year before that wine and the year after. See if
Pearl Morissette's never done that before. It's the first time that they're doing it, and because they really loved what we've done with them in the past. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now, before we go, I really want to close that off. Sorry, I touched the phone and now I'm crooked. I just want to close that off with a little sip of that here. What we've talked earlier. On Monday, I went on the Golden Mile.
Yeah.
Have a little not impromptu, was planned for a while now because we've been talking about that with Tenor and see what we can do. And this is a 2003. For people who think that Canadian wine cannot age, well, guess what? Oh, I really wanted to swear so bad right now, but I won't do it.
No, you're
This
too clean for that. Yeah.
this can age. It's already 17 years old, and there's still plenty of years in front of it. It's just like, it feels like if it's at midway between youth and maximum potential.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The acidity is still bright. The fruit is ripe. The tannins are round. There's no fading in any way, shape, or form. It is just round and velvety. The texture is so good. So yeah, I had a really, really, really good meeting. Tinhorn are ready to open up their libraries, their library wine for Carl's Wine Club. Buckle your seatbelt because the offer that we're going to put together with Tinhorn Creek for the fall can be absolutely mind-boggling. That's the only thing I have to say.
They've got one of the biggest kind of libraries of any winery, right? Like they actually realized early on, Sandra Oldfield that used to own it and was the winemaker, she realized early on the aging potential. Oh, Daryl helped you out, Carl. You weren't willing to say it, so he had to help you out with that one. That's right. You know, if you're ever concerned, Carl, about swearing, you can do it in French because nobody understands.
Are you sure about that? I know that my 3 kids do understand when I swear in French. That's a fact. You know what?
Yeah.
6:20. I don't know. Should we keep going?
So, we gotta pick the winner of the balsamic. Show us first. Show us the balsamic.
So
right?
I picked that up at a small little farmer's market in Oliver, right on the corner of Highway 97 and Road 7, where Timon Creek is. Before you go up to the road, there's a little fruit stand there, and it's owned by a super lovely East Indian family, and they had that. So it says, yeah, being farmer and artisan. It's the balsamic vinegar caramel. So it's made in Summerlin, but sold in Oliver.
Yeah. So let's see who wins this one.
Mon Dieu, what do you mean, Mon Dieu, Steven? It's way too polite. Mon Dieu is just too classy. When I get to the Carlis de Tabarnak, it's not classy, okay?
Terrible. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's hit the button. Let's see who wins.
Hey, go. Jen Gross, my friend Jennifer from Calgary, who moved to Toronto 5 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, Jen bought. I think she was the first one to order their pack from Sue-Ann this week. So, yeah.
that's awesome. So way to go, Jen Gross. We'll email her after. And lucky, that balsamic looks exciting. I think this is like a sign of our maturing wine industry. Hey, Carl, that we're starting to make more balsamic vinegar hereby.
Oh, I think it's the sign of. To me, it's more of the backcountry lifestyle, the authenticity of the valley, and definitely now it's become a culture. It's all started with the wine. It's all started with the farming, and that's exactly where we're at now. So yeah,
Super
I love
exciting.
it. I love it. I really wish that we decided to keep that bottle because it looks so very good. But
Yes. Well, we'll just have to get some more because next time we're in that area, we're also going to pick up platinum bench bread. If you're ever in the Osoyoos, all of our area, you have to stop by Platinum Bench. Their motto is "Come for the bread, stay for the reds." So
Yeah,
they
and
also make
it's on the
wine.
Black Sage Bench, between Desert Hills and Black Hills.
They have a winemaker owner who used to live in San Francisco, I believe, and she learned how to make classic sourdough there. And their breads are so good. They bake them fresh every day. They're outrageously good, like outrageous. So we'll have to get some of that bread with some of that balsamic. Maybe we can source some Canadian olive oil. I don't know if that exists, but yes.
There was that crazy couple from South Africa, I think, who moved to Victoria that you told me to, who moved to on the island.
I think it's Pender Island.
On Pender Island, right?
They have an olive grove, yeah.
So they probably make their olive oil there. So
well, with this climate change, I think that we can start growing olives in our backyard, Carl. I don't know.
I don't know. If you want to go ahead. I'm not getting into the olive business. I hate that darn freaking thing. So
yeah, actually, there's one thing that Carl doesn't like. It's olives. The taste of olives. We have yet to find a wine that has any sort of taste of olives, or I'm sure Carl would spit it out immediately.
Absolutely, immediately. Hey, we're at this an hour and 25 minute show. So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it now, so it's time to
let's go. You know, it's good that you don't eat before, Carl, because that kind of prompts you. Like it's a natural boundary to say, Carl, you have to eat something. Get off.
Oh, that's exactly how I feel right now. I'm dizzy. I have a headache. I look at the balsamic. I want to open the bottle and just like chug it. So
yeah, we need to start pairing these wines for you. Like this is kind of should be our appies and wine hour.
Yeah, appies and wine hour. Yeah, but we need to think. Also, let us know, because now with the summer, feel free to give us a little. Send us an email. What would you like? Because I know, like, I'm not expecting everyone to sit down with me all summer long and miss out on beautiful happy hours outdoor. And like, it was great to have Carl rambling for an hour and a half every Wednesday during COVID, but now things are starting back up out there. So, so I don't know. What would you like to see from Carl and Mira? Which kind of concept? If you have any idea, any suggestion, please send us an email, because the way we're building Carl's Wine Club is like our community. We want to have your input. We want to know what would excite you with the new season coming around the corner. We're thinking a little bit more about like Cellar Confidential with different winemaker. I'm thinking a little bit just go to a winery and do a little like 30 minutes on why to come to this specific winery. Or I don't know, give me some ideas. We are here to listen to you and to provide you with great content. So we're looking forward to hear your feedback.
Awesome. Totally. And Canadian wines rock. So have a great night. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, you guys. It's been so much fun. When we started to meet members, like we met with Steven Shapiro, he was in town here a couple weeks ago, and it's really like we got each other through COVID, and now let's grow even more and do something even more exciting now that we're allowed to travel and be in person and all that. So
and like Danny and Jeanette and Mike LaPlante, who's coming next week, and we have Stacy McLean from Calgary who's coming soon. Who's coming to tell? Yeah, we have some pretty cool good time coming up. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for supporting Canadian wine, world-class Canadian wine. And on that, we're wishing you stay cool out there. Drink a lot of water, and we'll see you a little later on this week or next week.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.